October 7th, 2007. An off-duty deputy stopped by a homecoming party where his former girlfriend was a guest. Soon, the night will turn into a massacre. This is the story of the Crandon, Wisconsin shootings. Hello, happy Friday. Welcome to Kelli's Coffee and Crime Chat. This is Kelli, and I am back to bring you another true crime case. Whew, I'm a little out of breath. It's pretty warm. Had to get home, had to get off work and get my stuff put away, and I'm ready to record. It is July 21st. I cannot believe we only have just a little over a week left in July. Next week, it's supposed to be scorching here in Illinois, and I'm not looking forward to it. It's like, I like the weather now, even though it's still a little too warm for me right now, even in the 80s, but we're talking upper 90s next week, which we're not used to. So I am drinking, of course, I'm drinking hot coffee. I do have iced coffee downstairs. I have the Raspberry Cream Silk Java Mama cold brew, but I decided to make me a hot cup of hot fudge sundae. This is part of our ice cream line, and this one is sold out. It did not take very long, but I'm going to tell you what, it's probably the best one I've had as far as the ice cream, but I have not had the push pop, which is like the push-ups, which I still want to get that. And then we have a raspberry, it's called a silly bar, but it's supposed to be like a dilly bar, but they call it a silly bar, but it's the raspberry one. And sprinkle Sunday sprinkle cone is still up, and that's a very good one. And then we have a pecan praline parfait, which I have not tried yet. There's a lot I haven't tried from our line of air roasted coffee. I try not to drink in the microphone, but man, that hot fudge is good. Hot fudge sundae was always my favorite as a kid. That was my favorite to get at Dairy Queen or McDonald's. So that's why I like it. But Java Mama is air roasted, better for your gut, clean and green. Fresh tea leaves, awesome for any iced tea or hot tea. And we also have really good hot cocoa. And with any three, you get a flight. So you get, if you have 3 coffees, 3 teas, 3 hot cocos, you get 15% off. I have not done that. I've done that for coffee, but I haven't done that for tea or hot cocoa because coffee is my main thing I drink. We do have mini iced teas up as well. That's very, very good. The sangria tea is awesome. And they're already put in a filtered pod. So you just put it in a pitcher of water and let it sit in your fridge for so many hours until it's done brewing and ready to drink. I will have the link in the show notes for Java Mama. And today I am doing a case from Wisconsin. I do not remember hearing about this one. There's some confusion here when I get toward the end, but I'm going to talk about Tyler James Peterson. He was only 20 years old. He was born March 6, 1987. By the way, my sources are murderpedia.org, npr.org, Wikipedia, and the Panagraph. This will be a short one. This will be a short little coffee break for you. Or tea break, cigarette break, soda break, whatever. Okay. Tyler James Peterson. He was only 20 years old. And he was a deputy. I read, and I never did go back to find it, but I ran across an article that talked about why hire deputies so young in such an important job, I guess. I'm not sure. I didn't read the whole article, but it just talked about that. But I'm not sure if age really was a factor here. I mean, okay, he was 20 years old and his former girlfriend was 18, and she was at a homecoming party / pizza party. Yum. And every time I hear the word pizza. And it was in a duplex in Crandon, Wisconsin. And this happened, like, the homecoming party was, I'm thinking August 6th, because August 7th at 2:45 a.m. is when he showed up. 2:45 a.m. And he showed up, and I think the party was just about over by then, I'm thinking. But I think I read that it was post-homecoming party. His former girlfriend was there, and I have her name here. I just haven't gotten to it yet in the list of the victims. Jordan Murray. Sorry, I didn't mean to say list of the victims. I try not to give things away, but you probably already know this is about a shooting. Jordan Murray is her name. She was 18. He went there, and this is coming from other people that knew them. He was going there to try to patch things up. They must have been either broken up or maybe they had an argument. But he said that he went there and to talk to her, and people noticed that he was really jealous. I don't know if she had another boyfriend there. I don't know what happened. I was not able to find out the whole story. But, so this happened in 2007. So it's been quite a few years ago. And he was a 20-year-old deputy, Forest County Sheriff's Department, and a part-time officer at Crandon Police Department. So he was even doing that. So he went to this party, and people said that he was jealous, but something happened. He was planning on patching things up. He got really jealous. He was a jealous boyfriend. There was a dispute, altercation. He left the duplex after they had gotten into their argument or whatever it was, came back in. There was about seven people present, young graduates, and some are graduated from high school, some weren't. He came back into the duplex with an AR-15 rifle and started shooting. This was the first time an AR-15 rifle was used in a mass shooting in the United States. I did not know that. After he did his shooting, he ran from the scene, and authorities got to him later that day. I think I read it was like maybe 10 hours later, I want to say. Now, the victims here were either students or graduates of Crandon High School, and I want to talk about them. I'm going to have pictures up on my Instagram, Facebook, and those links are also in the show notes. What the confusion is, after they got to him, he ran from the scene. They got to him later that day. First, they said he was taken out from a sniper. Then they said later that he committed suicide from multiple gunshot wounds. My question is, how do you commit suicide shooting yourself multiple times? I'm not understanding that. So it almost sounded like I never did get a clear answer on what he died of, because first they were saying sniper, and then they were saying multiple gunshot wounds. So, it just doesn't make sense to me. 14-year-old, one of the victims was 14-year-old Lindsay Stahl. Her mother, Jenny, gave her permission to go to a sleepover at a friend's house the night after the homecoming party. Not sure if she was supposed to go to the homecoming party. She was the youngest one there. There wasn't really anybody else around her age. Leanna Thomas was 18. Katrina McCorkle, 18. Aaron Smith, 20. Bradley Schultz, 20. And Jordan Murray, 18. There was one more victim. He played dead and ended up surviving. Charles Netzel was his name. He got hit with 3 shots, but he survived. Miraculously survived. Amazing that he was able to do that. I don't know. I mean, I guess if you're hit 3 times, you probably think you're dead, maybe. I don't know. But this is just something, when I read this, it's like this kid's 20 years old and he's a deputy. I read somewhere where your brain is not completely developed until you're around 25, I want to say 26, 25. I might be wrong about that age, but I know it's older than 20. And he had, it sounded like he was, well, of course he wasn't out of high school very long, and he was still had a girlfriend who was 18. And so it did make me question, why do they hire deputies at this young age? I'm not sure exactly. I should have read that article a little more. I went back to find it, and then to look for it, and I completely forgot. And then I don't even think I was able to pull it up. But I did not realize that they hired deputies at 20 years old, and plus part-time. He worked as a part-time officer at the police department as well. Because I know you have to go to the police academy. You have to do all that, but this was off duty, and he did this to these other young people. And it wasn't just his girlfriend. I mean, he shot all these other people too, and just over a jealous dispute, you know. I don't know what else was involved. I don't know if alcohol was involved. I don't know. I just think it's a very sad case. I could not find much more about it. I just, if anybody out there if anybody out there is like from this area or knows more about this, please let me know. I will leave my email and links up in the show notes. I got my Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, however you feel like getting a hold of me. But I thought this was very important to talk about. Like I said, there's not much there. It's a pretty short episode this week, but I still wanted to talk about it. And I am still looking for other suggestions to feature on Kelli's Coffee and Crime Chat, as I center more toward underreported crimes around the Midwest, or toward maybe like the center of the United States. I will go further out if it's really cases that really need to be talked about, you know, unsolved corruption, anything like that. Like when I did before on here, I've got many other episodes like that, many unsolved episodes that I'm still doing updates on. I have not found any new updates on some of the ones I've done, but like I said, I feel like this is not much is told about this one, but I will have the photos and everything of the victims and Tyler James Peterson up on my social media. Okay. I was trying to think. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Now this is when I usually do my shout outs and my recommendations for what I've been seeing. Murder in the Rain. I just found that podcast. I just started listening to it, so I haven't gotten that far. It's pretty good one. So if you're looking for something new to listen to, that's a good one. I also still enjoy my favorites. Suspended Sentence, Love, Marry, Kill, Nosy Bees, Brutal, Bizarre, and Boozy. All the ones that I've been listening to. Book of the Dead. Awesome. So I try to do all my shout outs and all my favorite ones. Of course, Going West, Death Do Us Part. Death Do Us Part is also here in Illinois. I'm trying to think of who else. I always run blank when I do this. Dream Idiots. So many good podcasts out there, and I really appreciate the podcast community for your support. And I recently started watching on Max a show called Full Circle. If anyone's seen this, I'm only on episode 2 because our internet keeps messing up out here, and I'm only on episode 2. So far, it's got me hooked. It's got Dennis Quaid, Claire Danes. I cannot pronounce the guy that I've seen many times. He was in Scream 2. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Timothy, his last name starts with O. I cannot pronounce his name. He was in Go, the movie Go, many, many, many others. He's in it. I'm trying to think of who else. Claire Danes, Dennis Quaid, many other actors that look familiar to me, but I'm not sure if I've seen them in anything. But so far, it's really got me hooked. So that's that one. It's about a kidnapping so far is what it's about. And I don't think I've watched any other movies from last time. Movies or... there was one movie I did catch on Netflix with Sam Rockwell and Tara J. Henson, The Best of Enemies. I have never seen that. And it was about the segregation in schools when they first did the vote. And, of course, it was in a southern state, and I don't remember the state. But it was very, very good. It was a very, very good movie. If you're looking for something to watch on Netflix that's really moving and is a piece of history, watch that one. It's called The Best of Enemies. I'm trying to think who else was in it, but there were quite a few other people in it. So that is all for today. Everybody have a wonderful week. I'm sorry I didn't have I never really have a happy story, but this was just something that I wanted to talk about and share if anybody has not heard about it. So everybody have a wonderful weekend. Be safe, be kind, and always enjoy your favorite beverage on a Friday night. I will see you next time.